Hey everybody, this is John, John's Long Box. I went specifically looking for this comic. I had to dig through everything, found that box right there to find this. This is for one of my oldest friends, Jimmy, who's in the hospital right now. So as a tribute to him, I thought I would do a Moon Knight. He and I, we read this over and over and over again. This is actually in pretty good condition considering how many times I read this. I think I lent it out to people. But this is Moon Knight. I've talked about Moon Knight a few times. Okay, 50 cents. And I remember specifically telling myself I was going to quit comics when they were 50 cents. That was 1980. Look at that quarter box. That is outstanding. That I drew over and over again as a kid. Premiere issue. Okay, this is not the first appearance of Moon Knight. The first appearance of Moon Knight was in Marvel Spotlight. And here he is. He's got 3 civilian identities and 1 superhero identity because of the phases of the moon. And that's Marlene, the blonde bombshell. That's his girlfriend. Okay. November being, of course, the month that you return the comics. You rip the cover off and you return it. You get a store credit. They become one to do what they must. Moon Knight. Okay, Trans Am muscle cars. Okay, look at these. They were larger than Matchbox cars, if I remember correctly. Okay, Stan Lee, the Macabre Moon Knight. Look at that splash page. Pretty violent. Okay, what's going on? Setting you up for a dark and gritty comic, if you ask me. Okay, Doug Moench. How many comics have I talked about Doug Moench? I'm surprised. I mean, I knew he did this, but always surprised that his name comes up. Just a quality comic book writer. He did everything. Just a consummate professional. Over here's this. That's the. Oh, look at my fingers. They're gross. Been doing some work on the house. This is color guides. That's to let the colorist know. Bill Sienkiewicz, artist. Bill Sienkiewicz, I think his most famous work besides Moon Knight is Elektra Assassin. Bill and Frank S. Inkers. Okay, is that Bill Sienkiewicz and Frank's? I don't know. Okay, letterer, B. Sharon, colorist. That's the second name. Danny O'Neill, editor. Jim Shooter, supervisor. Danny O'Neill, great comic book writer. He died a couple of years ago. His famous mistake was depowering Wonder Woman and making her the woman's lib secret, and then all the women got pissed off that the only super powerful women of note became immortal. So he apologized and went back. All right, so here he is. This is Mark Spector. Look at the colors, very simple. Mark Spector, and this is, oh man, why can't I remember his name? Bushman. Okay, and here they are. They're mercenaries working in Africa. And they just basically hired assassins going around and killing people. And Mark Spector, you're going soft. You must be bloodthirsty, ruthless to survive in that profession. And, you know, he was a soldier, bad guy. I think he was Israeli Mossad originally. And he's just, you know, had enough of being a villain. Throws away his gun. Yeah, Bushman. That's why I got my face tattooed, to scare everybody. So that's not makeup or anything. That's like a permanent tattoo. And Mark Spector quits. Just starts walking. That Frenchie is his. I don't know what's going on with that helicopter there, but Frenchie is his pilot, ex-French Legionnaire. Okay, let's get out of here. Bushman's like, you can't quit. And they're like, yeah, we're both quitting. All right. We won't take it. Blah blah. Yeah, we're gonna take over the whole Sudan, and Mark Spector won't have it. Recollecting what they're doing, they're just killing people. You know, they're being paid by some warlord or another. And this is Marlene. Her father, I forget her last name, but she's the daughter of this archaeologist. Okay. And they're in the Sudan. He's like, oh, we got to protect ourselves. So he's going to use this fancy jewel dagger to protect himself. Want to buy some grit? The Super Fun Factory, the ads are getting smaller. The spud gun, you stick a potato in the handle and you pull the trigger and it fires a chunk of potato. I always wanted to get that. I still do. Okay, I like the art over here. She's in the shadow. The sunlight. So, oh, he's gonna kill Bushman. He's gonna kill Bushman. That's right. All right. He's sneaking up, and of course, Mark. This is a flashback. Mark, look out, Bushman, and he takes out the father, and he holds him. We'll take up the square. Now you have much to learn about Terror Spectre. This one will serve as an example. And Bushman kills Marlene's dad, and it's Mark didn't kill him, but he might as well have, right? So here he is. He finds the dagger, and Spectre disappears. He's going back to warn Marlene. We gotta get out of here. Why should I trust you? You're a mercenary scum. You killed him. He's like, I didn't do it. Just get in the car. Let's get out of here. Go. So you're getting soft because Bushman wanted to go kill the girl. They're talking. So far, no Moon Knight. Bushman, you're soft. Now they're rounding up survivors. Stop! We can't let them do this. Boom, 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 boom. They kill all the survivors. He's like, I can't take this. And here we are, more ads. Be like Charles Atlas. 1 million. For all I know, they really were giving away money, and nobody ever filled out that ad. Wouldn't that be funny? There's a story to write. The guy who actually filled out the ad. So here they're fighting. Boom. Bushman. Oh, my cat's calling me. Bushman beats the crap out of Mark Spector. One punch. Bushman's not to be trifled. Frenchie's like, ooh, I don't know what to do. And he dropped him off in the desert. Like John Wick, if you remember John Wick. So here he is, out in the desert. They left me to die, and he's just marching, sweating, dying. At night he's freezing, the extremes of the desert. And mystics find him against the moon, the shadow of the moon. They pull him into some hidden temple in the sand. No face. They don't need faces. Look at the coloring. It's very simple, Enough. And there he is. Okay. And here he is. He's dead. By Allah, he's dead. He's good. He's one of those who killed my father. He deserves to die. Oh, Marlene's there. See, here's Marlene. And look in the back. Ominously waiting. And she's tormented. What's wrong with me? How can I be glad that a man's dead? I've become bloodthirsty like him. So she's like, he did save me at the cost of his own life. She's all conflicted. And he was so handsome, So she's over there crying, all of these things. And here, moon god Khonshu. I never looked him up if he's real or not. And here she is just regretting this whole situation, conflicted emotions. And boom, Mark Spector pops up. Who am I? What am I doing? You were dead. He's like, no more than he's dead. He goes, you mean Khonshu? One of the gods of the moon, known as the Taker of Vengeance. A figure of terror. How do you know that? Because I don't know. And he takes the cape off the statue. Because I don't know about being dead. What do I know? But I'm a ghost now. Mark Spector. Okay, so what a coincidence. A guy named Mark Spector. Electronic marvels. Look at these. These were video games for when I was handheld video consoles when I was a kid. I never had these. Electronic marvels. He's driving off. He's got two of the curvy daggers and a cape, and just stab people, right? Who cares? Moon Knight just jump down, knock him over, grab a grenade, man, yeah. Here's Bushman just making the girls dance, having a good time. That's what you do at night. Bracka-boom, bracka-boom, bracka-boom. What noise? He goes out there, grenades, bada-bada-boom. There's Moon Knight, before his costume, just a cape that he took. Sparked, it's you, isn't it? He goes, you're alone now, Bushman, just me and you. Yes, Bushman, I've changed. And just like you, I figure I've learned your lesson. So now he's going to scare him. And a hand is going after Marlene. Oh, yeah, I forgot this ad. Look at this. This was the cartoon Saturday morning. Saturday morning cartoons used to be a thing for you young people who don't know. Back when we had limited channels, You couldn't just get whatever you wanted. You had to Saturday mornings. You'd wake up in the morning, sit in front of the TV with your bowl of Cheerios and whatever, and you got cartoons. Oh, I love that Tarzan, Lone Ranger, Tom and Jerry, and you just watch cartoons until noon, and then noon it usually changed. The Drac Pack. I love the Drac Pack. Yeah. Fat Albert and the Brown Hornet. Yes, Fat Albert. Haven't seen any. I wonder why you don't see Cosby Kids anymore. I don't know. The news, yeah, like kids wanted the news. CBS Saturday. Yeah. That executive kids news show. Yeah, that's what I waited all week for, the kids news. All right, so here's Mark Spector. Finds out that Marlene's in trouble. He goes, somebody's grabbing Marlene. You know, look at the art. Bill Sienkiewicz, very sketchy. I just loved him. The Bill Sienkiewicz, or Sienkiewicz, I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, it's Frenchie. Okay, so she was stopping Marlene from making a fool out of herself. And she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, you got to tell her Bushman's force is destroyed. He's finished. Frenchie's like, all right, you got to guess what's your name? Marlene. My name is Marlene. And he dies. But, of course, he slowly recovered. And like the phase of the moon, he developed different personalities. So this is Mark Spector. I think that's his true identity. Jake Lockley. Jake Lockley is a cabbie in Manhattan. Goes around and, blends in with people. And if you've seen that episode of Sherlock, nobody notices a cabbie, and that's where he goes to get information. And then Steve Grant, millionaire. So that's his Bruce Wayne persona. Okay? And altogether, those three secret identities funnel everything into Moon Knight. Look at that. I drew that. I remember drawing that. I specifically remember drawing that. Oh, yeah. And here he is at home. Marlene. Bushman's back. He's like, what do you mean he's back? I killed him. So this is years later. This is like current time. Everything else was a flashback. So he's Frenchie, get the chopper. Look at that. It's a crescent moon with the propeller. Okay, I don't know much about aerodynamics, but that's cool, and cool is all that matters. So Jake Lockley's got to go out and get some information, more ads, write poems, comic books for sales, Empire Strikes Back, an Imperial Guard cap, Rebel Trooper cap. That's pretty cool. I don't remember seeing that bodybuilding course. All right, back to the show. She's like, what are you doing, Steven? He goes, you heard me, lady. Yes, I've heard it before. So she's getting tired of the constant switching identities and stuff. You don't really pick it up now, but Moon Knight's crazy. He's got mental issues. He has 4 different personalities. I don't know if you call it multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia. I don't know, but they make him crazier and crazier as it goes on. And it keeps him from just being a generic Batman ripoff, the insanity. And I'll talk more about that at the end. Here he goes to the diner, and he meets, what's her name? Crawley is the homeless guy, a bum, as they called him back in the 80s. And the flies and everything. And he would give him money, and he would go out and get information, And there was a good story later on where they realized that him using Crawley all these years probably kept him homeless longer than he should have been. So he gets his information. He never really puts all of his equipment in the trunk. So he climbs up. Here he is in full costume. And look at that. That's another. I drew that over and over again. His cape was crescent shaped. And it was supposed to be silver and black. And the opposite of Batman. And I remember in a later issue, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they were like, your costume is so bright and silver, people see you. And he goes, yeah, I want them to see me coming. So, of course, you got to go to the strip club, goes back in. What are you doing, Bushman? It's like, they called him. He's coming right up. Moon Knight busts in. I always like that panel. And purple suits. We got to bring purple suits back. It's like, Pete, you comment a lot. Paul, you comment a lot. Let's all get purple suits. Comment with thumbs up if we all get purple suits together. Okay, there he goes. Jumps in, kicks that guy while kicking that guy. Never mind the distance, but artistic license. Look at that, just taking people out. He's throwing crescent darts. So that's and on a stick, the truncheon. Crescent darts, I mean, it's just like batarangs. He's at this point, he's just a Batman clone. There's no other way to be nice about it. And at this time, I wasn't into DC until a couple of years later. So, this was my Batman fix. So here he is, took out everybody, got to question the fat guy. A trap. So he jumps in. Well, I thought this was a trap. Nothing here. Okay. And there it is. The Athame. That's the name of those kind of daggers. Athames. And here he is. Bushman comes out, looking all creepy. He's like scary Gene Simmons, scary Ace Frehley. He's got his gun pointing the wrong direction. The perspective's off a little bit. I mean, you can tell by the way he's looking, and then the gun's pointing, but whatever. The lights. Empire Strikes Back's playing right next to Girls, Girls, Girls. Times Square was a lot more interesting back in the 80s than it is today. Live dancing girls. Marlene's all in a black bodysuit. She's gonna help out. Pulls the gun. They're talking. The superhero banter. They're monologuing. She comes in and distracts Moon Knight for a second. He shoots. Turns around. Clips. That's what they call it. He clipped Marlene. You stinking, filthy son of a... Boom. Bushman always was a little better at fighting. Moon Knight. Now you die. I don't know why he's taking his mask off. Oh yeah, his teeth are replaced with iron spikes. Steel teeth. Seek Art Moon Knight's jugular. So Bushman, I think they later revealed that he had some sort of demonic pact or whatever. So he wasn't just a normal human. But I don't know. So she's waking up. Look at the blood dripping out of her. Moon Knight's just beating the crap out of him. Boom, boom, boom. Marlene, stop, stop, stop. Not like this. He's like, he killed your father. He goes, yes. And it was my father, not yours. So Marlene was always like the humanity. Bringing Mark Spector, Moon Knight, back down to Earth. Is Mr. Fantastic in The Power of Gold. I love the Fantastic car. Reed Richards is perhaps my favorite of all. I gotta get my Fantastic Fours. And he saves humanity with Twinkies. I mean, that would work for me. I would stop robbing and pillaging if he handed me Twinkies. Perfectly logical. That's why he's Reed Richards. Perfectly logical. So you go back to the office. Bushman is all beat up. Takes off. I love that. The little sound effect. Speck. Spack. That's not a spill or anything. That's a discoloration in the comics. It must have been a printing error. Yes. And I love the foot hanging over the gutter. Just kind of makes it 3D. Whir, whir, whir. There's the helicopter outside, and he throws fizz, fizz, whiz. And that's his calling card. We'll come back to that. So there's the helicopter, crescent moon. Always a wind blowing. Drops down the ladder, and he climbs up. The police come in. And here's the calling card, the crescent. That's his bat symbol. Just the Skid Row slasher. So this is the first issue of Moon Knight. They didn't know what to do with him, too. He's typical B-list Marvel comics at the time. They changed him to... he didn't have superpowers. He was a Batman ripoff. But then they distinguished him by making him crazy. And then he became more violent to the point where, Daredevil would be like, hey, Mark, you gotta calm down. Like, at one point he tried out for the Avengers, and they were like, no, you're a liability. And then he got powers, which I kind of liked. He grew stronger with the phases of the moon. So at a new moon, he was a normal human. At a half moon, he was, 4 or 5 times more powerful. At a full moon, he was superhuman. And then they gave him all these gold amulets and stuff like that, a little bit like a mystic powers. That's kind of when I lost interest in Moon Knight. I liked them better, more stripped down, but the phases of the moon power are kind of cool, because you could always say that it was a full moon, make them weaker, add up the tension, whatever, things like that. But this is Moon Knight. I hope everything's all right, Jimmy. You could wear purple suits with us too, okay? All right, there you go.